When the angel of death comes down after you, can you smile and sit there and say that you have been true? Can you truthfully say with your dying breath that you're ready to meet the angel of death? And that's what Vampirella is getting ready to do in this Halloween special. Yo, what's up? Welcome back to the Haunted Basement Studio. And yes, Vampirella is back with a one shot with the Halloween horror special right here. And man, this is a crazy story. So let's get right into it. Central Park, New York City, as a little boy goes running through the park, he is being chased by some blonde woman. And as she catches up to him, he says, "No, can you just leave us alone? We just needed this food. We're so hungry." And she says, "Don't worry, I'm here to help you." And as she leans into him and kisses him on his forehead, he says, "Oh my God, this is so beautiful." As you see a silhouette from a little boy turning into a teenager, turning into a man, and then an old man, and then a skeleton. And as she walks away, she just leaves this little boy dead on the ground in Central Park. And now we jump into a house where Vampirella is staking a vampire with the heel of her boot. And as she looks up, there's a baby in the crib crying. She says, "Don't worry, everything's going to be fine now." As the parents said, "Oh my God, we didn't know what to do about this vampire." And Vampirella looks at them and says, "There's some similarities that I have with these vampires, but I am here to put good on earth. Don't worry about your child. They are a lot harder than we think." And now, as Vampirella flies through the New York City lights with her 18-foot bat wings, she gets to her loft. And as there is a person there waiting for her, and she says, "Hey, my name is Deborah. I need your help. I seen what people talked about you on the forums and in the articles, and even your fan art's absolutely amazing." And Vampirella just rolls her eyes at her. She's like, "What do you need?" She's like, "I need your help. I work down at the morgue, and well, honestly, like, it'll probably be best if you just come down and I can show you." And now as we make it down to the morgue, we see the skeleton from the first part of the book. And Vampirella says, "I don't understand." And Deborah says, "Neither do I, because we did DNA tests, and this is Noah Brown, and he's only 14 years old. But our test says that he died of old age, and there is some saliva that was left on his forehead, and it shouldn't have been left there because with all the wind and all that stuff, the saliva doesn't linger on for long." And Vampirella says, "From like a kiss?" And Deborah says, "Yes." And there is so many more Jane Does and John Does out there that have the same issue, that died the same way. And now Vampirella looks at her and says, "Tell me everything you know, because I'm going to find out who is doing this." Deborah gives Vampirella a list of names of all the victims, and as Vampirella looks over them, she says they have all something more in common than just premature wrinkles and death. They all lived hard lives, and they are kept away from the tourists of the city over here on the island. And as Vampirella looks around, she realizes that there's no children, there's no teens, but then all of a sudden she spots one, and as she goes after him, he walks into a cathedral. And then when Vampirella walks up behind him, he turns around with a bat and tries to hit Vampirella in the head with a metal bat, but Vampirella just stops it with her hand and looks him up and down. And she says, "Your valiant attempt to protect others is kind of cute, but this is not gonna happen here." And he's like, "Oh, you think I'm cute?" She says, "A different type of cute, Romeo." He's like, "Oh man, please don't tell anybody that we're sleeping here, because there's too many kids, and the kids have gone missing, way too many of them." And she says, "Like your friend Noah?" And he says, "How do you know about Noah?" And then as a girl comes out and says, "Chase, come in here." She says, "No, I'm sorry, but it's Bex. She's gone and nobody knows where she's at." And then all of a sudden you hear a scream, and they're like, "Oh my God, is that her?" And Vampirella looks up and says, "You two stay here," and walks towards the scream. And now we see the blondie kissing Bex as she's turning into an old lady as Vampirella pushes her off. The blonde looks up at Vampirella and says, "What are you doing? How dare you interrupt my gift? And I will not let you interfere." That poor child, she deserves better. And Vampirella says, you mean sucking the life out of her? I'm not gonna let you hurt her anymore. You caused enough pain. And the blonde girl looks at her and says, you have no idea what you are talking about. I don't hurt them. I take care of their pain and take it as if it was my own. And as she walks up to Bex, the old lady now, and says, I give them life that they deserve, one of bliss and perfection. Don't I, my child? As Bex looks at her and says, please don't. And as Vampirella jumps in and says, I told you to leave them alone, and shows her fangs. And the blondie looks up at her and says, what are you, some kind of vampire? Oh, how dare you judge me with what your kind does? And Vampirella looks at her, oh, didn't people tell you not to be so stereotyped, blondie? Or are you that dumb? And as they start fighting, Vampirella's like, oh my god, she's too fast, she's too good, I need to get some distance between us. And as she flies off with her 18-foot bat wings, she looks down at her, and then the blondie pulls out her angel wings and flies up towards Vampirella. And Vampirella says, oh my god, of course you are an angel. And now as they're fighting in midair, the angel of death says to Vampirella that you are a hell spawn. Your kind dispelled eternal life only by violence, death. It's a curse. I give life joy, but I will gladly break that tradition to end yours. And Vampirella says, oh my god, she is too fast, too strong. She is my equal. I am never going to win with just fists. So if she says that she takes pain, then she can take mine. And as Vampirella leans in and kisses the angel of death on her mouth, Vampirella says, I can feel her withering in agony. Her body is screaming out for me to let go, but I don't. Even in my own is begging me to just do that. I should be dead by now. If I was human, I would be. But everything my body has is fighting against her, desperately trying to crawl back the years and the decades she's forcing upon me. A feedback loop of pain and sorrow, life and death, me to her. And now that they are in mid-air kissing, both of them are receiving each other's past. Vampirella is finding out that this angel has been around for centuries, maybe even longer than her, in some other paradise that she had to escape. And vice versa, the angel of death is receiving Vampirella's past as well. As the trance is over, they fall out of the air and land into the lake. And as they get out of the lake, Vampirella says, you don't have to do this. I know what you are now, what you've been through. For you, there's no beginning or end, just always. But you don't have to be stuck there. Don't let your demons win. They have already. But they're children, their time is fleeting, and I can remove their hurt and add it to my own. It's but a raindrop in an ocean. And Vampirella looks at her and says, for beings like us, yeah, but their lifetimes are in the blink of an eye. But this is their everything, and who are you to rob them of every moment of that? Painful, joyful, or otherwise, they deserve more than just an illusion of what could have been. And then she says, how did you not let it define you, your past, all that they did to you, and your own mother? And Vampirella says, because I made a decision to let it go, just like you need to. And then now the angel of death flies away, but Vampirella is too weak to go after her, as she makes her way to an alley where a mugger is getting ready to kill a female on the ground. And as the angel of death walks up to him, he says, you want some too? And she says, yes, I do. As she blows a kiss at him, and he turns into agony and turns into an old man and then a skeleton. And she says, don't worry, there's more where this came from. The end. Man, this comic book was absolutely crazy. Vampirella at the end does change the mentality of the Angel of Death. Instead of her going after young children and getting their whole life, she's going to go after the bad people, the murderers, the killers, the bleepers. You know what I mean? And that was such a cool freaking one shot of Vampirella versus the Angel of Death right there. I thought this comic book blew my mind. There's 3 comic books that came out this month of Vampirella, and this one is a freaking 10 out of 10, and we got 2 more to go this month. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you can watch those reviews as well when they get done from week to week, baby. But hell yeah, Vampirella, the Halloween special horror right there, freaking amazing. 10 out of 10. It was written by Liam Johnson, and the art was by Jordan Michael Johnson, with Michael Woods as the colorist right there. And we also got the Celena cover right there, and there are some sick ass covers, and the Greg Land cover is absolutely fire. All right, man, this freaking Vampirella horror Halloween special was amazing. Tell me, y'all, what you think about it in the comment section below. Like the video if you do, subscribe if you haven't, and I want you guys to remember one thing: you keep it haunted. Comics. Later.